Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I am here with a fall haul from KRINGLE, the very first fall haul of the season of 2025. It is July and we are now in retail. I should say that. I was going to say reality. In retail, it is officially the fall season. Usually in retail, fall usually expands from July, August, and September, and then by October we'll start seeing things for the holiday. But KRINGLE, actually I would say Bath and Body Works kind of is one of the very first ones to do fall, and now KRINGLE, usually Yankee is first, but in this case not so much. But we're gonna get started with KRINGLE. This is right on par with KRINGLE's launch for fall every year. They tend to do it like the week after 4th of July, and then expand it all the way up, and we'll be talking about Halloween in about a month, which I will have a video of that coming soon once I find out more information about that, which I don't know anything right now, but I do have my own collection, so that would be fun to go through some things and talk about those, and even give you some post-burn reviews on a few of the candles that I have, if or whatever's coming back. I'm hoping some things are coming back for Halloween, but again, that will be a totally different video. But today we're going to talk about the 6 candles that KRINGLE brought out. This is the first year where we are having a launch in fall without country. If you are not aware, country candles, the last launch was spring summer of 2025. They discontinued them. I'm really not sure exactly the reason, but from what I gathered, it has something to do with the glass availability in that size and that cut, I'm guessing. But again, don't quote me. There are people out there who went more into depth. I didn't really listen to anybody's videos on that or in that magnitude. I'm just going by the chatter that I've seen from what I interpreted from what Mick said in the group last year, or was it earlier this year? I think it was earlier this year. And so they're not doing anything with those. Now I will be honest, the 6 candles that I got the large jars, 2 wicks. And there is talk that these also may go into 3 wick, but still keep the same cylindrical looking jar. But again, that is stuff more to come later down the pipeline. I will tell you that these 6 candles, that from what I've seen on the product pages, is only available in 2 wick large jars in the daylights. Now, is it coming in a 4 wick? I'm not going to say I assume or do not assume, because I don't want you to say I'm giving false information. I did not ask. I'm just going by what I saw on the product page. So without further ado, let's get right into these 6 fragrances. All right, you guys, so the first fragrance that I want to introduce you to is Amberwood and Moss. That's what that looks like. The next fragrance that we have here is Apple Rum Cake. I'm pretty sure that will be the first one to sell out if you're interested in a gourmand lover. The next one we have here is Rosewood and Vetiver, and that's what that looks like. The next one we have is Vancouver Cabin. The next one that we have is a Velvet Fig. That's what that looks like. And the last one that we have is Whiskey and Embers, and that's what that looks like. So those are the 6 that we will be talking about in this video today. Also, just want to point out that this video will be a split part 1, part 2. Part 1 is me showing you the candles unburnt, which I will show you right there, unburnt. Right, they're all unburnt. And then the second part of this video will show you the candles in a post-burn, and I will do it collectively because I don't really have time to do them individually. So it will all be done on here. You will get first impression, code sniff, first impression, first burn. I'm not gonna have time to really burn these more than once. My schedule's been kind of busy. When I received these, it was like one of the busiest weeks I had ever had in quite some time. So I didn't even get a chance to open the box until after the 4th of July. and now we are here. So it is Wednesday, no, I'm sorry. It is Tuesday night that I'm filming this, 2 days before the release, which is July 10th, a Thursday, at 12 noon. And if you are not aware, I have a 15% discount code, which is Tiffany_Vanessa35. You should see it on the bottom of the screen or on the top. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. Just depends on how I edit the video. But without further ado, let's get into it. So the first candle we're going to talk about is Amber Wood and Moss. Now, judging by the name itself, I'm automatically going to go with the fact that I think this is a earthy, woody, dampy type of scent. And so let's get into the notes. The notes are amber, moss, green, fourgier, stemmy greens, lavender, fir, and wood. Okay, so 2 things. First off, this is exactly what I said. It has that lavender and the green, fir, tree, wood type of scent. That's the first thing. Second thing I noticed is this reminds me of something we've had before. One of those Christmas holiday scents we've had, was it Winter Wonder or, oh my gosh. I think I burnt that and completely finished it. It's either Winter Wonder or the other one. It was Winter something and it had like a white label and it was daytime, cloudy, overcasty, snowing with a foresty pine forest in the background. I can't remember that. If I can, I'll try to remember to get a picture. When I do the editing, you'll see it on the screen or the name will pop up. But it's kind of like that icy coldness, but not a frosty, what is going on? Not a frosty, like shivering, bone chilling cold. There's definitely dampy moss. It's a little soapy. It comes off smelling soapy. So if you know which candle I'm talking about from the winter lineup, that same candle has like almost a soapy quality to it, and that's thanks to the lavender. But while you're getting the lavender, which is much more of a sharper version of lavender, the lavender floral is much more on that powdery, airy type of scent. This lavender is a sharper version of it. And then you get the moss, you get the forgery, the green, of course, the resonance from the amber. I would say that there is like a wood base to this, but again, wood and amber's coming from the wood. The resonance and benzoin is kind of, you know, coming together to create like this amber woody moss. So you are getting that. I don't really pick up on anything else much more than this, just a green. I would maybe say that this picture is doing the name justice. Like that's kind of like what it would smell like, those damp, wet leaves. If you've ever had to clean up leaves or a pile of leaves and it has dirt and mossy, wet and damp, that's kind of like what this is. So that is the amber wood and moss. All right, so next up we're going to talk about apple rum cake, and that's what that looks like. The scent notes on this are apple, spiced rum, dates, fruit, pastry, cinnamon, and nutmeg. Okay, so fun fact about me. I'm a gourmand person, but only certain times of the year. So like right now, this would be so perfect in the fall. I'm talking about deep fall, like around Thanksgiving, if that makes sense, because the amount of apple, the amount of spice, the amount of pastry, cinnamon, nutmeg. And you know what's even more funny is I get the dates. The dates are kind of sitting on the top with the cinnamon and the apple. There's like this slightly syrupy almost honeyed type of scent with fruity undertones. So I'm guessing that's the fruit, dates. Mostly I do get that spiced rum. There's like this rich molasses type of quality to this. Again, you have the cinnamon, the nutmeg for added sweetness and spice, and just overall this is gorgeous in my opinion. I really like this. Like I said, I think this would be a good scent to absolutely burn later part of fall. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to burn this now because I know y'all are so crazy about fall. Not me. But how that looks on that label, that is exactly what I'm smelling. It's just a warm, airy, nice cinnamon flavored with dates, pieces of dates and apple inside, just gooey and buttery, sweet, not extremely. And when I say buttery, I don't mean like, you know, in some gourmand scents you can kind of like smell the extremeness of the butter, and it can go, not that kind of butter. It's just, I know it's in there, I can smell it, but it's not doing anything. It's literally not doing anything. So this, I'm gonna be honest with you, this one's probably gonna sell out the first launch and they're gonna have to report. So that is apple rum cake. And I can't really think if it's anything close to, I would say maybe the apple note is kind of close to the same apple that maybe in, is it the apple cider donut candle? Is it also the same apple that's in Apple Love? I burnt that one, finished that one. I like that one, but the thing about Apple Love is it was much more on the perfumey side. There's no perfume quality to this, so if you're worried about that, not at all. I'm just comparing the apple note. So that is, again, apple rum cake. The next one that I will be talking about on the channel is this rosewood and vetiver, and that's what that looks like. And this has scent notes of amber wood, I'm sorry, amber, comma, wood, because I know amber wood can be one word. Amber, wood, floral, fruit, amber, tobacco, leaf. Yeah, tobacco leaf, one whole word. Okay, what did I put down for this? Because I feel like this could have a lot, this can go a lot of ways. So again, there's that amber, there's fruit, there's floral, tobacco leaf. I think we've already seen fruit in the apple rum cake. We've already seen the wood and the amber wood. I think tobacco leaf or tobacco is going to show up again in another one of these candles. And that's what I meant by the repetitiveness of the same notes. There's really nothing different. They are all kind of similar, except for, again, that apple rum cake and maybe one other candle. Okay, so with this one, this is kind of like we have rosewood and we have amber wood. And that's probably what the difference is. You still have that base of wood and amber. I definitely smell the wood and the amber, but I'm also picking up that warm, rich, slightly sweet, earthy tobacco leaf with like that spicy undertone. Yeah. If there's floral in here, I would think that it would be something like mums or marigolds, something like that. If it's a fruit, I would think more so on the figs and even dark grapes. I know that sounds like a stretch. I'm not saying that's what I'm literally picking up. I'm just saying with the type of scent profile that's going on here with the fruit, I would imagine they would use those fall type fruits. So like a dark grape, persimmon, pomegranate even. And of course figs, because we have a candle here with figs. So I would figure fig would be in here somewhere. But that is what I want to talk about there. So yeah, I honestly, if you wanted to know, if you were saying, Tiffany, which one should I get? Rosewood and vetiver or amberwood and moss? It really depends on what you're going for. If you like a dry wood, tobacco leaf, leathery, well, not leathery, but tobacco leaf, fruity floral, and again, not saying that it's heavy on the fruit or heavy on the floral. I'm just saying that's the differences that you can pick up between the amberwood and moss and the rosewood and vetiver. The rosewood and vetiver has floral and fruit with tobacco leaf, while still having that amber and that wood as a base to round this out. And then this, the amberwood, has that green, not floral, green, lavender, soapy quality to it that makes it much more different. Still has that amber and that wood base. If you like much more of that soapy, outdoorsy, fresh quality, damp earthiness, this is for you. But if you are not into that earthy, damp, forest floor, dirty type of scent, I would say get the rosewood and the vetiver, because it's much more drier tobacco leaf with that sweetness from the fruit and the floral, while still having that amber resinous woody base to it, but not as much present as it is in the amberwood and moss. The amber and the wood and the amberwood and moss is much more prevalent against that green mossiness compared to the amber and the wood and the rosewood and vetiver with the dry tobacco leaf, probably some dried up darker fruits and dark florals or fall florals, which could be much more drier in context. I'm not a florist, so anyone who can answer that for you would be Mr. Kong's mom, Melanie. She probably could tell you a lot more about mums and any type of floral, a fall floral arrangement than I could. I'm just going by what I would think a fall floral would be, which would be a lot heavier type of scents, not those airy quality scents, but much more on that we're getting into fall, things are changing, and we're in the periannuals, or are they called annuals? I'm not sure. Again, I'm not a florist, so I can't go into the depths of that with you. So again, there you go. That's rosewood and vetiver. All right, next up we have Vancouver Cabin. This has scent notes of bergamot, cedar, balsamic, yes, balsamic, patchouli, moss, and amber. So now I feel like at this point, moss and amber are showing up. We have another wood type of note. The only different notes here this time would be the bergamot and patchouli. So again, most likely a woody base. Yep, a woody base. And you can actually smell the cedar and the balsamic notes here. The cedar's kind of like, in my opinion, the cedar's kind of on the base of this, with that mossy, damp, foresty, again, smell with the resonance of the amber. And then this time the bergamot brings a little more zest to it to add some nuance and give it a little bit of complexity. It literally smells like you are in this cabin by a lake that has forestation in the back that's getting ready to start its decaying process for the fall and going into the winter, if that makes sense. With like that bergamot, fresh, zesty, watery air quality with the wood. Because if you know, if you've been in a cabin, cabins tend to have like this dampness to the wood. If you've been to a real cabin that actually uses real wood, I smelt it and it like has this smell to it. It has a mossy dampness to it, as if the wood, if it rains, the wood is soaking in that rain, if that makes sense. But the wood is not being tarnished and decayed in that aspect. Just what's around it is kind of causing it. It's drafty, it's airy, so therefore it doesn't have the same insulation that you would get from a brick home or anything like that. You're getting real cabin air, and I think that that's what this is evoking with the moss. The patchouli, I don't really pick up on like that patchouli, like what I know. Not saying it's not present, not saying that if you're someone who can't really stand patchouli that you won't notice it here. Me, patchouli doesn't bother me, so therefore I don't smell it. All in all, I think this is a great way of introducing fall to someone who stays in a cabin or more of an isolated area. They aren't quite getting the amberwood moss type of feel in the air, forestation, or they're not quite at the rosewood and vetiver forestation. This is kind of, like I said, at the beginning stages of decay of wood and trees and leaves and mossy areas beginning to develop for the colder months. And again, like I said, that bergamot really adds a touch of brightness, quality, a zestiness, while giving some complexity to this scent. I don't really have anything that I can think of this would be similar to compared to like the amber moss and the rosewood and vetiver. And I'm not sure, there's another amberwood candle that they have that actually has a similar label at that. And I'll probably put that on the screen if I can get a picture of that as well. But I feel like that's like, this is like a third version of it or iteration or some type of breakdown of it. Again, if you probably have that candle, you probably don't even need the amberwood and moss or the rosewood and vetiver. But if you want something quite different that isn't really either one of those, you're not into that earthy woodiness, but you want that bergamot, you like that patchouli, you want all of the amberwood and the moss, and get a little of that cedar because it's present. You can pick, I can pick the cedar out of this. I think the cedar's sitting at the base with the amber and that moss. The amber is adding like a sweetness to this, almost powdery in a sense, but not overly powdery. It's enough to be captured in the wood with the moss and the bergamot to create, again, that essence of a cabin and forestation in the background with that crispness in the air from the bergamot that adds a little zest and a little bit of complexity without overdoing it. So that is Vancouver Cabin. All right, you guys, the next one that we have is Velvet Fig, and that's what that looks like. This has scent notes of ripe fig, sweet, cognac, creamy, amber, tonka, woody. All right, so there is that. So this, in my opinion, has a lot going on, but I think that's in a good way. I get this sweet, like tonka bean or cinnamon, or like, well, it does say tonka in it, so I do get this sweetness, like cinnamon, tonka bean, almost like a mapley syrupy type of scent. I'm also picking up on that warmth of the fig, which I'm really enjoying. There's like milky, earthy undertones to this. I am picking up that rich sweetness, like oak barrels or something from cognac, like as if I was smelling the cognac in the barrels, and it's sweet and ready to go after it's macerated. Or, I'm sorry, fermented, or you get what I'm trying to say. Again, I do get that wood again, but again, there's also those oak barrels, and that's where that kind of woody smell is from the oak barrels. This smells very sweet and creamy, like again from that tonka. I know the notes are sweet, but literally the notes that really make sense here is the ripe fig, the cognac, tonka amber. But other than that, everything else, the getting the creaminess with the tonka and the sweetness from the fig, and then the cognac and getting like this woody oak barrel note. I like this a lot. Now I did see Philly Candleman actually made a post on Instagram saying how this transforms when burning. So I will be coming back in this video to tell you what I think of it as it warms. I'm hoping, now this is my take, I'm hoping that these actually perform the first burn so I can give you some type of information. I would hate for this to have to open up on the second or third burn, which means I would have to be somewhere down here to kind of give you a full thought. And I know some of you don't really like first impressions because the candles can change. But there are some people who actually want this first impressions because they have an idea of what direction this candle will go, because you want to kind of know what it'll translate to when being warmed compared to what I'm smelling on code. And then everyone's home is different. So me telling you something that's a strong throw may not be like that at your home, because you might have a bigger 22-foot ceilings compared to my 9. So this candle or any of the candles in this bunch could possibly cover my 9-foot ceiling, but you have a 22-foot ceiling, which is almost 3 times the depth of mine. And yeah, but I really like this one. This is like my second favorite next to the apple rum cake, but that is velvet fig. I think if you are into those cognac notes, if you are into those wood amber wood barrels and into tonka, you will like this. And if you have a thing for fig, which is probably the most different note here, I think one other, the apple rum cake, I think has the fig in it too, right? Let me see. I think that's the only other place I've seen the fig. No. Which one of these got fig in it? Am I tripping? Or is this the only one? Maybe this is the only one with fig in it. I haven't looked at the whiskey embers yet to determine if that one has fig, but yeah, I really like this one. And again, like I said, my other favorite right now is the apple rum cake. The only reason I haven't chosen Vancouver Cabin, Amberwood Moss, or Rosewood and Vetiver is because they all kind of are similar. They still have different nuances in between each other, but they're all outdoorsy. And so far, the apple rum cake and the velvet fig is giving me something totally different. Now, with that being said, we're going to get ready to get into the final candle, and then we're going to wrap this portion of the video up. Sorry to make this such a long video, but I think it was the best way to do it versus doing Hey guys, I am so sorry for this video. I probably look a mess. I look like I probably just woke up. Anyway, don't forget that the launch is today at 12 noon on KRINGLEcandle.com. I didn't get a chance to do those post-burn reviews as promised, and I'm sorry about that. So what's going to happen is I'll have to take my time burning them now and getting full length reviews. I'm going to tell you again, just so you know, that apple rum cake may sell out. So if you are interested in that one, I say get it. Again, it is a spice rum cake with hints of dates, fruit. It has apple, cinnamon, and nutmeg. So make sure that if that is one that you have plans to get, you get it and you're there at 12. Everything else is probably scents that I'm pretty sure it's not going to sell out. And remotely, a lot of people probably are not going to be interested in. So I just want you to know that. So again, just be mindful of, you know, what you want. And I'm hoping this video is helping you out. All right, let's go back to the original video. Or what I might end up doing is posting this video and then making a second video with the same type of format, but talking about the post burn. So we'll figure that out. I'll discuss that at the end of the video. All right, last but not least, we have Whiskey and Embers, which has scent notes of whiskey, wood smoke, tonka, spice, amber, and wood. And right away, I get that whiskey and that tonka. You get that smooth oak, sweet caramel, vanilla, spicy type of almost chocolate nuance in this, followed by that tonka that gives it like a sweet creaminess. I also get a little hint of wood smoke, and when I mean small amounts of like a charred wood, it's very minute, very much in the background, because the whiskey and the oak barrels and the tonka are just very much in the front and center. There is a slight spice in the background. The amber, again, that sticky resonance with the wood, just putting it all together. This one, I will say, is my third favorite. It's not as strong on cold as like the velvet fig and the apple rum cake, but I still like it. I'm hoping that this one performed, because right now it's not super strong on cold compared to everything else that I've smelled on in this video today or tonight. And like I said, you know, I really love the fact that I can smell that whiskey, like this tonka and this creaminess from the tonka, and then the whiskey giving off those, that woody oak barrel aroma, while there's like hints of, from the whiskey itself, of chocolate and vanilla and like a honeyed sweet spiciness there with some of those dried fruits that help create the whiskey. All in all, yes, I'm here for this. Really, really, I'm here for this. So yes, that is Whiskey and Embers. So I am very much excited to burn these. I am, I promise. I know people is like, I don't believe you. I am. I'm actually excited to burn these because I want to see what they do. The only thing is, I want to do full reviews of them later down the line, which will be closer to that September, October, November realm. So you won't even see really any full reviews on these. And then by that time, I think we'll be getting into those holiday sales where there'll be buy one, get one, this, and or 50% off, 60, and all those special Christmas, holiday, Black Friday sales. So I know that seems like a long way away, but I'm just being honest with you. I don't really have plans to go that deep into these candles until that time, because I want to take my time with them. Granted, the fact that I have to get them burned now so that you guys can have an idea of what we're dealing with here and what we're getting for the fall. I do miss that country candle line already. I never was one to want to get rid of it. I thought they added a different type of feel to fall. These were much more on the conceptual, and then I felt like the country kind of targeted much more of that gourmand, much more of that typical fall, kind of like in the realm of Bath and Body's typical safe scents, and compared to a complexity where you got some here that just, they have the same type of notes, but they all offer something different. That kind of thing there, compared to, like, you know, we probably have a lot more than just the apple rum cake in this collection. It probably in the country line be 3 or 4 gourmands in that collection alone, and maybe 2 conceptual type scents. But all in all, again, I do like it. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of cut this video here, because this video going by the way that I did, it would end up being an hour, and I don't want to do that to you. So we're going to leave it here. It is, by the time you see this, it will be Wednesday. I'm hoping to have the second part up Wednesday night or Thursday early morning before the sale. So it's very important that you look out for that video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, have my notifications on, so that when I upload and it posts, you can watch it right away and try to enjoy it. I would try to make that video a lot shorter than this one because I don't have to go into much detail. I'll try to spend at least 2 to 3 minutes on each candle just to give my ultimate final feedback. And again, the code is Tiffany_Vanessa35. That is TIFFANY_VANESSA, the number 3, the number 5. And I hope to have all that information on the screen. If you don't see pictures or anything like that, that's because I just didn't have time to get to them. Like I said, I just wanted to get this video up. I will try to do better when it comes to PR going forward. But it's just that when I've never gotten PR from this, with this grouping of people. I haven't got PR for a big seasonal drop in like almost, since 22. I've always been getting the seasonal drops from reserve lines. I have not gotten a collection of more than 6 in a long time. So it actually felt good, and this is my second time getting PR this year. So really appreciate it. When I say I'm very much thankful, Joe, thank you, Mick, and anyone else to the team of KRINGLE. I just want to say thank you, Jamie, and anyone else who's watching this video from KRINGLE. Thank you so much. Until next time, you guys, thank you for watching. You will see more of my face. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do this face or just show the candles, but I'm hoping I look decent at least. And yeah, I want to get out of here before this air kicks back on and start making noise again. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye now.